My fellow compatriots, hi, welcome back to my channel. To those of you who are subscribers, thank you so much. And if you're hearing my voice for the first time, if this is the first time you're coming across one of my videos, please kindly click on the subscribe button. You're welcome here and I appreciate you for stopping by. If you watched the pulse check video I posted yesterday, you must have heard me wondering out loud, what's up with Issa Tchiroma Bakary, right? I felt a little void because we had not heard from him for a day or two. But today, when I woke up, I saw two very important messages from him, and that's why we are here today, okay? The first message, in that first message, he assured us that he has been escorted by the military, what he calls loyalist military, and he calls this military as patriotic team. So I'm happy that it warms my heart to know that some people, some military personnel have decided to keep Chiroma safe. So we appreciate that. So let's go ahead and do a bit of analysis on his speech, the speech that he put out today, the latest speech, right? In this latest speech, Chiroma paints a picture of a nation that has been betrayed, a people stripped of their voice, and calls on Cameroonians to fight back, not with violence, but with silence. Yep, a nationwide ghost town. 3 days of stillness to remind the world that the people are not defeated. Let's unpack this speech a little bit. You know, I love to listen to his speeches, so I love to analyze them. Let's go a little bit down this route, okay? Since the Constitutional Council's proclamation of Mr. Paul Biya as president of Cameroon, the atmosphere in the country has been one of disbelief, anger, and fatigue. Yes. For decades, elections have followed the same pattern. Votes cast in hope, results proclaimed in disappointment. But this time, something shifted. Yep, something different is happening. In Chiroma's words, he says, the people have risen, standing tall and courageous. These words are not just a rhetoric. Across Cameroon, people protested peacefully, holding their voters' cards as a symbol of their faith in democracy. But guess what? What did that meet? It met bullets, arrest, and fear. Yeah, because that is how things are done back there. The heavy toll Chiroma refers to, the 100 deaths, the thousands detained, these are not just statistics. These are real numbers. These are real families. It's people's futures, right? People who are trying to speak the truth and the system punishes them with dissent. Now let's look closely at the tone of his speech. I love to look at tone because when he speaks, his tone determines where his state of mind is, right? This is not the Issa Tchiroma many of us remember, the man who once defended the regime, right? This is a man seemingly seeking redemption. His language is very deliberate when he says, a people who have lost fear are a people who are invincible. Yeah, that line is very deep. It hits very deep. It is an emotional shift from despair to defiance, a sign of psychological transformation. By invoking the ghost of 1984, the coup d'etat attempt that scarred a generation, Tchiroma draws a line between then and now. It is a reminder that Cameroon has seen crisis before, but it survived. But again, he doesn't call for violence. Instead, he calls for a new kind of resistance, economic silence. So from November 3rd to November 5th, Chiroma calls for a ghost town, a complete national shutdown. Closed stores, silent markets, empty streets, a nation at a standstill. At first glance, it might seem passive, right? But ghost towns have historically been one of the most powerful tools of nonviolent resistance in Cameroon. In the Anglophone regions, ghost towns began in 2016-17 as protests against marginalization and injustice. All right, they became a weekly ritual, a quiet form of defiance that crippled local economies and sent global messages. We are still here, okay? Listen to us, and we are not backing down. By extending that strategy nationwide, Chiroma transforms it into a national symbol of protest, a unifying act of resistance across divides of language and region. So this is a national tie, right? But let's talk about the impact, right? Both the power and the pain of ghost towns. Yep, we need to look into that a little bit. Economically, ghost towns hurt. Markets lose revenue. Small businesses suffer. Daily earners cannot make a living. Yet, paradoxically, that's the very pressure point that makes them very effective. A government that relies on economic stability cannot ignore a collective act of economic shutdown. It is the people saying through these shutdowns, the people are saying, if you won't listen to our voices, you will feel our absence. Socially, ghost towns also serve as a pulse check, a barometer of unity. If the streets go quiet, it's proof that the people are listening. If not, it reveals fatigue and fear. Now, this is Chiroma's gamble, right? His gamble is not to paralyze the economy, but to measure the people's resolve. Perhaps the most important statement in his speech is not even political. It is emotional. This is a very smart man when he says, a people who have lost fear are a people who are invincible. That is the heartbeat of the entire movement. Fear has been the regime's greatest weapon for decades. Fear of the military, fear of arrest, fear of losing one's job or one's life. It is fear that has kept Cameroonians where they are today. But now, with young people documenting abuses, diaspora voices amplifying the truth, a generation refusing to be silent, fear is losing its grip in Cameroon. Right? Ghost towns, therefore, are not just about protests. They are about identity, a declaration that the people of Cameroon will no longer be silent participants in their own oppression. Tchiroma ends his speech with three powerful promises. Yes, this warms my heart. He will not betray the people, he says. Their victory will not be stolen. And he says, together, we will win. Whether or not Cameroonians believe him, a man once of the system is another question. But the symbolism of his speech cannot be ignored. It marks a new chapter, one where the language of resistance is no longer whispered but declared. Yeah. As we move into the days ahead, the question is, will Cameroonians answer this call for silence? And if they do, what message will that send? Not just to Yaoundé, but to the world. Yeah. Think about that. Yeah. Because where we are now, sometimes silence can really be louder than any shouts out there. So Issa Tchiroma Bakary is using this call for a 3-day ghost town. Well, I believe within me that this is his way to know if the people are listening to him. This is a way for him to prove that he has a voice. He is the people's choice. And so as we saw on Sunday, last Sunday, when he called for nationwide protests, yes, people came out. That was a sign that the people were listening. The people are listening to Issa Tchiroma Bakary. Now he has pulled another gamble. Yes, he wants to use this, as I said, I've said in one of my other videos, this is not political. This is not only political. There is a show of strength in here. If, after calling for a 3-day shutdown, ghost town nationwide, and come Monday through Wednesday, people stay indoors, nobody goes out, that is Tchiroma's strength. This is a strategy that you and I, listening to him talk, at this point, we probably do not even know how this is going to impact things. But as I have illustrated or analyzed above, you must have heard that there are both good and bad sides to shutdowns, to ghost towns, especially if it's lasting up to 3 days. How will this impact this struggle? How will this impact this fight for change? It's left for you and I to sit and observe. Today, already in Cameroon, there was a nationwide shutdown. So many cities were deserted. I tried to find out who ordered that shutdown. I did not get the information, but we could see from all the pictures and videos reported from Cameroon that many people were not out. Now that this one has been voiced in Tchiroma's own voice, where he says, my dear compatriots, the way I love it, I just love when he says that. When he says that and he tells his people, stay home, do not open your shops, your markets, stay at home, be silent. Let these people understand that we, the people, are the heartbeats of this country. Let's wait and see how that runs. So the next coming week will be an interesting week in Cameroon. This might just be the week that makes the difference. The week that the regime finally listens to the people. That is the hope. And as I said in my last video, hope is not gone yet. We are disappointed, we are disgruntled. But with a force like Chiroma in front of us, we are not giving up on this. We keep hoping and praying that someday Cameroon will change. In my coming videos, I want to analyze something. I want to talk a little bit about the elites. So stay tuned. Let's look into these elites, the people that are helping the regime cripple us. Yep, we're going to talk about that. So stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel to make sure that you do not miss the coming episode because it's going to be an interesting one. Thank you again for staying glued. Thank you for watching this, and please leave your comments in the comment section. Share this, let your peers listen, and I would love to know your thoughts. So never hesitate to put a comment in the comment section because I'll be there reading and responding to you. Thanks again. God bless Cameroon. God bless Africa in miniature. God bless Le Continent. Yep, I'll see you in the next one. For now, that's all I have to say about Cameroon.